Hello there, good day, and welcome once more to, it's the Open Door Show from propertyCEO. My name's Ritchie Clapson, as you know, it says it on the screen anyway, and it's great to have you here with us. What am I talking about? Here with us. And over the next 30 minutes, as always, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of small-scale property development. And we're going to be talking to some of the movers and shakers out there, people that can give us the inside track. And that's the important thing. That's what you need to know. What's happening out there in the world of property. And sometimes we'll be shining a spotlight on where there is a good opportunity for new developers to take a look at. But above all, as always, we're going to have a bit of fun doing it because, life is definitely far too short not to, isn't it? That's absolutely certain. So anyway, today's show, what have we got on today's show? Well, actually, we're privileged. I met this lady probably about 3 or 4 years ago, known of her in and around the industry. And this lady is a chartered commercial property surveyor. I'm talking about the wonderful Kirsty Darkins, okay? She runs a business that very much helps people invest in commercial property. But she's been in the property industry now over 20 years. She's been at CBRE, I think, Hammerson Retail, head of estate management at Boots, and run her own commercial business called KD Commercial. Kirsty Darkins is pretty well known in the industry and a great person to give us the inside track. She's actually out there doing it as well. She's out there investing in commercial property. She's got her own portfolio and she helps other people invest in commercial property. So welcome to the show, Kirsty Darkins. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, Richie. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Not bad, is it? Obviously, my team's done some research.
Evidently. So, yeah, great. Well, great to be with you. And I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Good stuff. I didn't research, or my team didn't research where you went to school, what you like to eat, and your favourite dish on a Friday night. But I don't know. What's your favourite dish on a Friday night?
Oh, it depends on the Friday. I'm a variety girl.
Are you?
So yeah, it depends.
Now you're a variety girl. We'll leave it there and we'll move back into property, shall we? Kirsty, look, it's great to have you with us. It's always good fun to talk to you. We haven't seen each other for quite a few months, and we sort of promised ourselves we would do this. So I'm really pleased you've given up some time to come on here today, and I think everyone listening to this, you're going to find this very interesting. So, Kirsty, we'll talk about what you do at the moment towards the end of the show here, because you're very much into commercial property and you can guide people on that. That's a really interesting sort of diverse business model. But to start with, your world has been as a commercial agent out there. And the big problem we find for a lot of students, a lot of new students trying to get into property development, and anyone out there who's thinking of getting into property development, is they feel really scared, really nervous about tackling property agents. And not like residential agents where you can just walk off the street, there's a shop front and you can go in. We're generally talking a different environment. We're talking about offices and booking appointments and meetings. Kirsty, as I start with, I'll tell you what, as I start with, give us your background in your words. Tell us what you've done, because I think you'll sell it better than I will. Give us a bit of background.
Well, so I've asset managed multi-million-pound commercial portfolios for all different types of clients, developers, pension funds, property funds, client side with Hammerson, so shopping centres, industrial parks, offices, so all the full gamut really. But my job in that time has been to increase value in those assets by letting space, selling property, buying property. So I've been out there in the market for 20 years, working as an agent on behalf of investors and property funds, effectively.
Excellent. So in terms of developers coming to agents, you'd have been sat there on the other end of that phone, people trying to get hold of you and get hold of commercial properties. And obviously that's a great place. Give us a few things that developers do wrong in trying to get leads on commercial properties out of commercial agents.
I think what they do wrong is they miss the relationship part and just try and go straight for the meat. And that doesn't really work with commercial agents. So commercial agents are generally professional qualified surveyors. They need a professional approach. They're also incredibly lazy. So it's about getting yourself into their little black book. And if you're not in it, you can't really expect to just phone up and get a lot of information or the best deals flowing through to you. So you have to have the right approach.
When we talk about being professional then, because I say, yeah, you're saying these are professional agents. It's not, no disrespect to residential agents, particularly any that are listening. It doesn't take much to become a residential agent. You can go in, you can put on a sharp suit and you can flog a few houses. But we're talking about a business-to-business relationship. It's a much more professional relationship. What would you as a commercial agent expect to see out of a developer in terms of professionalism? Where does professionalism come across to you?
Professionalism comes from the start of your approach. So if you don't know me yet, I expect you to call up and be ready to present who you are, what you do, and exactly specifically what are you looking for. So what's your criteria? But I also want to understand how you're funding your investments, because the worst thing in the world for an agent is when people say they can fund something and they can't. It's the fastest way to ruin the start of a great relationship, ultimately. So, I want you to be able to talk about immediately, look, I know you're a busy person. I'm very clear about what I want and what I don't want. I want you to be able to articulate that to me, where you want it, what's your price bracket, and how are you funding it? And if you can't tell me all of that, I'm not really interested in speaking to you at this point, because you're not going to be a good client for me, because I've got to protect my professional reputation, because I'm putting you together with my clients. So I'm letting or selling property for my clients. And if I bring them buyers that don't buy, don't complete, it makes me look bad. So I want to work with people who make me look good. So that's important, and who aren't time wasters, so know what they want.
So in terms of this initial approach, the worst thing, I guess, is someone rocks up and says, I'm looking for a good deal.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything, does it?
No.
I guess what that means, or tells you, that they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, because one person's good deal is not another person's good deal, because everyone's got different criteria. So it's like, well, a good deal where, in what price bracket, and what sector? Office, industrial, retail, leisure, what, what I'm not there to join the dots for you. So I'm a really busy person. I want to earn my fees the easiest way. And the easiest way for me to earn fees as an agent is to work with people who know what they want and who are ready with proof of funds and anything else that they might need. They know what legal entity they want to invest in as well. So are you a company? Are you a private investor? How are you investing? I want to know all of these things, where that might not happen if you walk into a residential estate agency. That's probably not the first questions they're going to ask you. But as a commercial agent, it's particularly an experienced one, I'm done with time wasters. And so if you can't answer all of those questions, I'll ask you to come back when you can.
Yeah. And I guess if you sent them away, they're really got to work harder the second time, because they've messed it up on the first one.
Yeah. Exactly.
What about then in terms of, to get, if you're there as a commercial agent, and this is probably typical of most commercial agents, you can't rock up at the door and expect to get seen, can you? This is all about pre-booking and pre-arranging a meeting through your PAs. Yeah,
it is much better to be planned, because, most commercial agents are out and about doing viewings and having their client meetings. Now, that's not to say that you can't be speculative, but if you are speculative, be ready. So don't just knock on a door, walk in and say, oh, well, I'm a developer and I wanted to know what you've got on the market. Well, okay, well, again, what's your criteria, and what are you trying to do, and what do you know about us? And so at least before you rock up at their office, look them up, work out what they've currently got on the market, what have they sold recently, what do you know about them, do a bit of legwork, get to understand, look on LinkedIn, what's their LinkedIn profile, where have they worked before, how long have they been in the industry, what do you know about the agent, because the agents expect you to be interested in them, and the more interested you are in them, the more interested they'll be in you, because they can tell that you're serious because you've put some legwork in. So it's about legwork, it's about being professional and the legwork, and trying to get yourself in front of the agent directly. So don't book viewings just to meet agents. That's the worst thing you can do. So commercial agents.
People say that. Sorry, Kirsty. People say that. I often hear on a residential place, people go, book viewings. But that is wasting agents' time, isn't it? I don't like that.
No, we don't like it. I don't do it to agents. So don't book viewings for properties you're never going to buy, either because they don't work for you or you haven't got the capital available yet. Just to meet agents. That's the worst way to meet an agent. So if there is a property genuinely that fits your criteria and you're ready for, book a viewing by all means. But when you book the viewing, say, have you got time for a coffee afterwards? So what you want to do is you want to grab some time. It's about grabbing some face-to-face time and starting to build some rapport and letting the agent know who you are. So if you email, don't email us. We won't read it and you won't get a response. Okay. So if you're just going to sit behind your computer and email, you're not going to get very far very fast. So don't email us. You can phone us, but if we've never heard of you before, we're probably not going to give you much time. So the quickest way to start building your agent relationships, which I appreciate people find scary, but we really are just people.
Yeah. You're okay, aren't you? I've met you, Kirsty. You're okay.
Thanks.
I have to say, if I'm totally honest, because this is the inside track, a tad scary sometimes, but I think to push through that.
Yeah, it depends what mood you catch me in. But, usually I'm scary because I'm busy. And so therefore, if you turn up and go, right, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I want, can you help me? Then I'll talk to you. If you approach me at a really busy time and you just go, what deals have you got? I'm just going to go, I haven't got time for you. That's the process that happens in my brain.
And will you sort of politely push them away, maybe give them a couple of details or get your PA to give them a couple of details and sort of send them on their way, or something that's really no good?
Yeah, whereas the people that have turned up and they're clearly ready and they're professional and they've already found out something about me and what my company does and what we might be able to help them with, and then they've taken the time to book a meeting, they've come in, they've met me, or they've booked a viewing for something that genuinely works for them and we've gone for coffee afterwards, then I'm more than happy to put them on our mailing list, talk to them again the next time they phone me. But you can't just go and meet an agent once and expect it to be a relationship. No. So that's the other thing. You've got to keep going at that. And I mean, we often say, it takes 7 hits to build that relationship. Maybe that's that initial call. It's the viewing. It's a coffee. You probably got to do that all again before you're starting to get there. This interesting point, as you said, if you're viewing something that is genuinely of interest, and it's got to be genuinely of interest, but maybe it wasn't for you, and that's fine. You can be quite honest about that. You said agents often were quite happy going for a coffee. For a lot of people, that would be a bit of a revelation. They go, well, why would they go for a coffee with me? Because they don't know me. Why would you be interested if someone said, have you got time for a coffee? Why would you do that? Because we're always looking for more credible investors who we can pass off market deals to. So we want to get to know more investors so that we've got a bigger pool of investors over time for us to pass deals to that we can't be bothered to market. Because I've told you, the premise is that we're lazy, right? So we earn our fees the easiest way. So the easiest way for us is not putting a property on the market and doing lots of viewings and taking lots of inquiries. The easiest way is opening our little black book, which today is our phone. And if you're in it, you'll get a call that says, I've got this coming up. Are you interested? And if you're interested, I'll send you some details. And that's genuinely how it works. So
this problem that a lot of people will go, well, hang on a minute, I'm a brand new developer. I'm in funds, okay, whether it's mine or investors, whatever, I'm in funds. I know what I want, but why would I better get in your black book when your black book's probably full of people? Why would I get in there? Why would I get to the top of that list?
Because not everybody's ready to buy at the same time. And so I might have quite a big black book full of people, but they might not be in the market right now because they've just bought something and they're not buying anything else until next year. And so, and also because, everything changes in the economy, people's circumstances change. You can't sit on your laurels as an agent and go, oh, it's all right, I've got 10 really strong investors, that's all I need. That's never all you need. You always need more. You need new people coming through. People retire, people sell their portfolios, people change their strategy, so as an agent, you eat what you kill. You're a salesperson, effectively, a professional one, but and so you can't rely on this handful of people to always be there when you need to place an investment. So you're always looking for new people to add to your investor stable. And no, you won't put them on your list to call straight away, but if that person approaches you in the right way, follows up regularly, comes to see you a couple of times, feeds back what's not right for them, and actually makes offers on the things that are. So that's important as well. So the quickest way to build a relationship with an agent once you've introduced yourself is to make offers.
Okay, that's interesting. And so, if you, let's say I'm a new developer, okay, we've managed to have a coffee. I've seen something and it's for sale for 700,000, but I'm thinking I'm nowhere near that. I'm at 575. That's the best I can do. Should I still put an offer in?
Yeah, absolutely. But reasoned offer, never just a number. So the other thing that works, and this works for me in my own portfolio as well, is build yourself what I call an offer pack. So don't just send one sentence of this is who we are. We want to offer on this property. We're offering 575. What you need to do is have an offer pack ready that gives the background to your company and who you are and any other directors and your experience. And then in detail, set out your offer with how you've arrived at your offer and why you've arrived at your offer, because it opens a conversation. And then as an agent, I can talk to the owner. It opens that conversation. Whereas if I've just got, I've had an offer at 575, I haven't really got much information to back it up, and I've met them once and I don't really know a lot more about them. So you're not really helping me as an agent to put that proposal to the seller. Whereas if you've given me all the information I just talked about, it's much easier for me to go to the seller and say, you need to consider this. They're credible, they're professional, they're ready to go. Do you know what? It's not unrealistic in the market. Let's talk about it. Yeah. And that's the difference it will make.
If we, in terms of what we do in teaching developers to develop opportunities, okay, yeah, we always talk about building your portfolio, and we say we'll touch on before we finish today about holding commercial property as well as an asset, because it is a great model. But if we're coming in and we're wanting to convert this building, okay, into residential under one of the new permitted development rights, but we're being a bit clever about it, that because we've had some great education, we know a few tips and tricks. How much of that should we give away to you? Because I guess the concern for a lot of developers, particularly new ones, is if we tell you that, you're going to go back to your vendor and tell one of those other people who's higher up in your black book. What would you say to that?
No, we're a lot more ethical than that. In commercial, to be honest, like that's not something that we'd even think about doing. So, you know, look, we've got an offer, we're duty bound to report the offer to the client, and on that basis as well, you know, myself, when I'm making offers on property, I'm very transparent. I tell them what we're planning to do. I even give them the numbers of how we've arrived there. And sellers have decided to sell. They want to sell. Agents want to make their fee. They've got an offer sat right in front of them that could work for their client, that they're just going to forward it to their client and open the conversation.
Because I guess sometimes property goes on the market as an agent with the price a little bit directed by the vendor rather than the agent. And sometimes the agent might think, if the example, well, it was never worth 800, it's only ever worth 600-ish. But the vendor wanted to go at that level because he or she thought they knew about PD rights. There must be more value. That must happen, mustn't it?
Yeah, all the time. And I've got a live example that's just happened in my own portfolio, to be honest. So we agreed a deal at the end of last year that went on the market, commercial property, family owner, retiring, decides what they want for it because it's effectively their pension pot, forces the agent to put it on the market for more than the agent wants to. So it goes on the market for 695. The most we could get to was the high 400s.
Yeah.
And we made the offer with the reasoning behind it and all the detail about who we are, what we do, and some case studies of what we've done before, or, you know, at least things that we're looking at. And it opened the conversation, and the agent went, do you know what? Leave this with me. It's going to take some time, but I can use this to have a better conversation with them. Now, it actually took 3 months, so you need some patience as well. So we just left it on the table, said, look, it's there. If they want to talk to us about it, come back. I went on holiday to Greece for 6 weeks, came back, phone rang, agent, they're ready to talk to you now. And I'm like, well, are they? Well, what number does it start with? Yeah. And they're like, a 5, but with 5 zeros after, if you can get to it. So they've come down 200 grand effectively, because the agents used what we've given them for them to have a conversation as a family to accept that, do you know what? Actually, look, it's right there in black and white. We can't achieve what we want to because the cost of developing this building, it can't stay as it is, you've got to develop it, is what it is.
And I guess as well, it's this old thing. There's a bird in the hand. There's you offering the agent representing you there as a potential purchaser, saying, well, look, Kirsty Darkins here. She's going to follow through. We know her. She's got the funds, and so and of course you're not going to sit around forever. So if they come back and say no, your money is going to be deployed elsewhere, and I guess that's often a tactic that one should employ as an experienced developer. You say, well, I'm interested, but okay, the offer's on the table for a month or two, but I've got several other things I'm looking at. That's perfectly reasonable, isn't it? And to put a bit of time scale on it. But I guess that now for a lot of people, anyone sat there thinking, well, if I don't take this 500, am I ever going to get 700? And of course, the agents are going to say, well, no one's come forward with an offer at 700, so make your own mind up.
Well, you see, as an agent, agents want their fees, and they want them now. They don't want them in 6 months' time. So they are going to, if they've got something to work with, they will use it to talk to their client if they do truly believe that it's not achievable to get to the price their client wants to get to. Agents aren't interested in overinflating prices because it actually makes their life more difficult.
And you still got to do the work.
Yeah, you still got to do the work. You still got to get and agents don't get paid until that deal completes.
And I think you use the term that agents are lazy, and it always makes me smile. But I think the reality is that works perfectly well, because then, okay, why not? Why do a load of stuff if you don't have to? But of course, the reality is if you can find people that you've built relationships with that you understand are going to follow through, that's good for you. It's good for the purchaser, and it's really good for the vendor.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone wins. Everyone's reputation stays intact. And everyone's happy and everyone's in profit.
What should we do as developers then to build that relationship? So the best developers, in your time that you've seen that really are right up there in your memory of being in your black book, they might be the first ones you ring. How do you get there? What are you going to do with Kirsty Darkins to get there?
You put in effort consistently, and you're always professional and you're ready. So, the people that stand out to me are the people that make themselves stand out. So they seek me out. They know something about me. They say, oh, can we go for coffee? And they buy the coffee. Then when we do view properties, they either feed back immediately and say, this isn't going to work for me because, or, which a lot of people don't bother to do, which is really annoying for agents. Or
I sense that in your voice then.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, so annoying. But, because you don't know where you are with those people because they don't tell you. And so, we're not telepathic. We're like, we think we've met your brief. And then we obviously haven't, but we don't know why. And then, so it puts you off. So the people who communicate consistently and consistently make the effort to build the relationship. So also it's the people that invite me out from time to time on a deal celebration. So, if I do find you a deal that's what you want and it makes you profit, let's go out for lunch and celebrate. That's how to differentiate. So, so we work really hard, but we like to play. So
well, don't we all?
Don't
we all? Yeah.
So it's about playing into that play part of it as well.
I think that's a great thing, because I think the best relationships I've built over the years, if we use that word, have come out the play bit. You can do all the professional bit. It's actually when you go out and you celebrate, or even if you haven't got a win, but you've got an event on. So let's say you're taking a few people on a day to the horse races, or you've got a motor racing event or something. Invite a few people along, invite the agents along. You're not doing business, you're just relaxing, you're getting to know each other, you're building those relationships. That's a great place to build those relationships, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. And also, do you know what, Ritchie? It's just like everything else in life and business. We work with people we like, ultimately. So, there might be someone who's got more money, who's a bigger investor, but I'd still rather work with the people I like. So, and that's just a fact of life, I think. So if you can find and connect with the agents and build a rapport, don't expect to connect with every agent, just like you don't connect with everyone in life either, So it's about finding those people you do connect with and you resonate with, and then working on that relationship. And, if I like you and you're professional and you're ready, great.
Yeah, I like that. I think the word you used as well just now, and you've been used a few times today, is that consistency. It's the keep in touch, it's the follow up, no, that's not quite right for me because of this. Or if you've got a bit of a blip or you found something else, funds have been deployed, look, I'm going to be out of action for 3 months, get this going, then I'm going to be back again. All of that's going to help, isn't it? It's that consistent keeping you in touch with what's going on.
Yeah, because, so don't expect agents to do all the work. Don't expect agents to just be fielding you opportunities. And if you're not staying front and center with them, if you're not telling them, I'm still ready, I'm still looking, requirements are still the same, how are you anyway? And, you've got to stay front and center. So it's about diarising, call the agent every few weeks, even if you've got nothing on right now and you're not quite ready, just call them anyway. Find out what's going on, what have they got coming up. Like you say, I will be ready in September, for example. So I'm not going to be ready. I'm going to be off for 4 or 5 months. I've got big projects on, but come September, I'll be on the hunt again, so let's stay in touch. And when you start getting things coming through, then, but also it's always worth saying, look, ultimately, if it's the right deal, I'll find the money.
Yeah, because you can. Yeah.
So
brilliant. I love that. Just before we wrap up, I wanted to say, just want to touch on the subjects. I know it's very much what you get involved with at the moment at KD Commercial. Obviously, we very much focus on people becoming developers. We train property developers, but obviously this property open door show goes out to anyone in property. And investing in commercial property is a great diversification in the marketplace. Just give me 3 or 4 things, 5 things of why investing in commercial property as commercial property, not to convert, is a great part of your portfolio, or should be in there. Give us 4 or 5 tips why.
Time freedom is a big one. So there's a lot less responsibility as a commercial landlord than there is as a residential landlord, which gives you a lot of time back. Your gross rent is usually your net rent. There are no costs to net off because your tenants are responsible for paying for everything, including the cost of the managing agent if the leases are written correctly. So you've got no maintenance to do, no costs, no time. That's why having some commercial cash flowing investments in your portfolio is good. Also, the commercial market, your tenants are business tenants, and that's very different to having residents, and different things affect businesses than affect residents. And so you're not all in the same market. You've got diversification between your rental income streams. And generally, and this is probably my favorite one, if I'm honest, as you can say is rich coming from a woman, but business tenants tend to be less emotional. And so I just find the relationship easier with commercial tenants than residential tenants by and large, to be honest.
I think that was a little bit sexist there, because us blokes get emotional as well.
I'm sure, yeah, you do. You're right. Just maybe not as openly, but
I shed a little tear every now and then. Not at the moment, obviously, but every now and then. I love that. I think that's great. I mean, that's got to resonate with some people out there, and then maybe there's a whole other open door show. We'll do that on sometime in the future, Kirsty. But yeah, no worries about maintenance. You're not going to get a call on a Sunday afternoon saying the boiler's broken, and if it's on a full repair and lease, then someone else is going to pay for it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Kirsty, I think, as I say, I want to put that out there. You, I know, offer an opportunity to come on a fairly low cost sort of accelerator session to go and spend some time with you and your business partner actually on site looking at commercial property. Where's the best place for people to get information on that? Because I'm sure there'll be some people who want to follow up on this.
Yeah, we do. So we do them about once every 6 weeks. It's on our website. So if you go to kdcommercial.co.uk, and it's called our Accelerator Day. So if you click on that, then you'll get the link to be able to have a look at what it's all about and book onto it if it's for you.
Brilliant. And if people want to reach out and contact you, is it best just through that KD Commercial site or anywhere else?
They can contact me by email if they want to, which is info@kdcommercial.co.uk.
Great stuff. Well, what we'll do, I'll get the team to put the info email address, and not that it's difficult to remember, in the show notes, and I'll also get a link to the KD Commercial site so people can follow up. Kirsty, that's brilliant. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully that's been good for you today. Hopefully a few more people reach out to you, and it's a pleasure to see you again. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hey, how good was that? That was good, wasn't it? I mean, a real inside track there. You're thinking that I can't get in that black book, but you can. They're lazy. Particularly Kirsty, very, very lazy. So, you've got to get out there. You've got to build that relationship. Relationship and consistency is what Kirsty talked about there. And you can get in that black book, but know what it is you want. have funds in place, and just be professional, and you can go out and do it. And I think definitely if you're into property, anyone out there in our team as well, go out there, go and have a look at this KD commercial site, have a think about having some commercial properties in your portfolio. It's a great thing to have in terms of diversification. If you're also interested in coming to spend a bit of time with us, I put together a bit of free training, just a bit of an insight into property development. If you're brand new, then just copy this link down, grab a pen and paper. It's propertyceo.co.uk/SFR, propertyceo.co.uk/SFR. There's a couple of hours on there, which I've put together. It's available for limited time, so go and grab that, and it just give you a bit of an insight into property development. Anyway, that's it for this week's edition of Open Door, and I look forward to seeing you same time next week. Cheers now. Bye-bye.